coming to you today with an answer to a fabulous question all about honey. Somebody asked recently, why does honey crystallize and does it ever expire? Such a good question. So have you ever seen honey in a jar or in a bottle and it looks kind of waxy and you can't really see through it and it's really solid? Or maybe it's like in a semi-solid state, so it looks kind of like extra sugary and grainy and kind of chunky. It's not flowing like honey would typically, like liquid honey would flow. It comes in a lot of different solidified states at times because of the temperature. It's all because of the temperature. So in warmer temperatures, honey is going to be nice and fluid, like this. And this is made by these little guys back here. Actually, this was made from in Cupertino, in my dad's beehives. So I come from a family of beekeepers. So we know a little bit about honey. We're not total experts. I think the only experts out there are the bees. And Mama Nature knows a lot more than we do. But what I do know is that this will solidify as it gets colder. So this is a nice liquid. You can kind of see if we can get a bubble going there. So that's kind of what we are hoping for when we're using honey, typically. And this is great. Pure honey right from the hives. And that pure honey, the same bottle, can sit in the kitchen. You don't want to put it in the refrigerator because we want to keep it at a warmish temperature for as often as possible. But so if you leave it on the kitchen counter or if you leave it in a cabinet, that's great. It'll probably stay in its liquid form for a while. But as the fall comes, as winter comes, as the temperatures lower, the honey will start to solidify and become solid. And that does not mean it's bad, so don't throw it out. All it needs is some warming up, and you can put it into a pot of warm water and just let it slowly warm up, and it will turn right back to this. So it doesn't expire as long as the honey has not been contaminated in any way. So if you open this bottle and say, oh gosh, I'm putting this honey and some jam on some English muffins, and a little bit of that jam makes its way into here. This is now contaminated and it will expire and it will go bad. Say if a little drop of water from my tea got in here, it's now contaminated. But it's not that hard to keep it uncontaminated as long as you honor your honey and you keep it pure and keep it its own. We just don't want anything coming into it. As long as nothing comes into it that's going to contaminate it, it'll last forever. So keeping the honey pure and uncontaminated and sealed for as long as possible is really important. You can open it up and seal it back up. As long as there's no contamination in there, it'll last forever. Before it gets to us, it's in the hives that are back here. And I brought, this is wrapped in cellophane, but you can see this is one of the frames that these guys have filled up with honey. And then those lighter colored circles, that's the wax. So you can see right here, that's honey that they didn't get a chance to cap before we brought it out of the hive. But this is capped. It's got that white wax seal over the top of the cell. So these are uncapped cells and these are capped cells. The capped cells are capped with beeswax, and it's Mother Nature's natural seal. So if thinking about that pyramid, if we took this frame and had left it in the bottom of a pyramid, or if I were to leave it maybe under my house where it's going to be undisturbed for the next 200 years, let's say. Somebody could come in, find this, and uncap the honey, and it's going to be just as good as it was when we took it out of the hive. So this is the bees' way of keeping the honey pure and keeping it away from contamination. So when we bottle our honey, we want to do the same thing. So we take it out of the extractor, filter it, and then once it's in a bottle, we seal it off. Like this. And then we seal it off again like this. Now, if you didn't have that full seal on there and you just, were at home bottling your own honey, it's fine to just, put it in a jar and seal it, put it in a bottle, seal it your own way. It's going to probably be in the back of a cabinet for a while, and as long as it's undisturbed, it's going to be just fine. Archaeologists have found pots of honey that is still pure in the bottoms of the pyramids and tombs, where obviously somebody was being honored and given honey to take along with them on their journey. So I don't know how many years ago that is. I didn't look it up, but it's a long, long time ago. And to uncover that now, because it's been down there in cool temperatures and contaminated, nobody took the top off and dipped their finger in it, it remained pure. So it doesn't expire as long as it's not contaminated. And remember that when your honey solidifies, it doesn't mean that it's bad. It just means it needs to be warmed up. Just like we need to warm up a little bit in the fall and in the winter. Your honey needs to warm up too. And it's okay if it's solidified and you want to put a scoop of that solidified honey right into your tea. That works because it's just going to dissolve naturally and melt naturally. The one thing I do advise against is putting your honey in the microwave. That will alter its molecular state and it's then no longer pure, and it messes with it in different ways. So just keep it away from the microwave and keep it as pure as possible. And it's pretty magical because of these guys. If you have any other questions, just let me know. Be well.